My ears have gotten used to the booming from all of the weapons. Some people think I'm crazy, some people think that I'm courageous, but I don't want them to think anything. All I want is to do my job and save soldiers, heal them, and do anything I can to make them feel better. I watched the battle in front of me. The whole world is becoming blood and the ringing from the guns. A man came staggering toward the nurses. I let a nurse, much better than me, take care of him. He needed more than I could offer. I looked around the field, watching a man fall. I searched my surroundings, hoping I wouldn't get shot myself. I ran into the battlefield, something I have done more than once, and I grabbed the man and took him back to where the nurses were stationed. I laid him down. There were no wounds that I could see, which meant that he had an illness. I looked at his limbs, making sure he had no infections. He had scrapes everywhere along his arms and legs. I cleaned up the scrapes to make sure that he got no infections. He looked extremely ill. "Ma'am," he muttered. "Yes," I asked him, still looking at his body. "Thank you," he said. "No problem, sir. This is my job," I replied with a wide smile. He tried to smile, but came short, which I guess was impossible with the pain he was in. "Can you explain to me how you feel?" "Well, I've been coughing a lot lately, and I have chest pain," he told me, resting his hand on his chest. "Have you been coughing up blood?" "Yes, just before I fell over. The pain was so great, I guess my body just couldn't handle it," he told me, his face scrunching together. "Does your chest hurt now?" "Yes," he groaned out. "All right, sir, I do believe you have pneumonia, which many soldiers have had. I will do my best to make sure you can be as comfortable as possible," I told him. "Thank you. What is your name?" he asked, opening his eyes to look at me. "Oh, my name is Anna. Nice to meet you. What is your name?" I asked. "My name is Jack." "Great name. Let me go get some supplies to see if I can relieve your pain a little," I told him as I ran off. I grabbed morphine, which doctors said would benefit the patients better. Pneumonia was something doctors hadn't discovered a cure for, mostly just medication techniques to take the pain away. I grabbed what I could and brought it with me. "The pain is bad, right, sir?" I asked him. "Yes," he replied, wincing from the pain. "The pain is so horrible you can not bear it?" I asked, only wanting to give him the medication if needed. "Yes," he said to me, irritation growing in his voice. All right, calm down. It may pinch a little bit," I said to him as I injected some into his body. Those are famous words for nurses. "What do you mean?" I asked, my mind going a little crazy from the rushing nurses. "You said it might pinch a bit." "I can't tell you how many times I've heard a nurse say that," he explained. I nodded. "Well, we learn in training. Every nurse must say that if a needle is involved," I said, being sarcastic and not at all truthful. "Of course," he said, laying back on the pillow. "Get some rest. It will help fight off the disease," I told him, tucking him in underneath the covers. "Thank you," he said, drifting off to sleep. I ran in and out of the battlefield, saving people and treating their illnesses. I went back to check on Jack to see how he was feeling. "Hello," I said, walking up by his side. "Hello," he replied, coughing a little. "How are you feeling?" I asked him, running my hand across his forehead, checking his temperature. A little better than before," he said. His forehead was burning up, hotter than I had ever felt. "Get back," I told him, and ran off to find a better trained nurse. "Dorothea," I said, coming up to her. She was the head lady around here, and she trained most of the nurses here. "Yes?" she asked. "I have a soldier with pneumonia, and his forehead is burning up. I don't know what to do." "Anna, he has pneumonia. Of course he will be burning up." "No, miss, it is very hot. I have never felt a forehead that hot before," I told her. "Look, Anna, I'm sorry, but most soldiers don't survive pneumonia. I know you want to save everyone, but you can't. I'm sorry. We haven't found a cure for pneumonia yet." "Thank you," I said, running back to Jack. I got to him and stood by his side. He had fallen asleep again. I wanted to tell him what would happen, that he wouldn't die from battle, but from an illness. I wanted to save him, but I wasn't powerful enough, nor smart enough to get what we needed to save him. "Anna, what is the matter?" Jack muttered. "We can't help you," I whispered to him. "I know," he replied. I asked. "I know. Doctors don't have much cure for the illnesses we get out here on the battlefield. I know I'm going to die, and I know you want to save me, but you can't, and I don't blame you for not being able to. It's okay. I will be okay," he said. He sat up. "Lay, Jack," I said. He then hugged me. "Thank you," he whispered. "For what?" I asked. "For helping me feel better." He then lay back down. "Thank you," and that was it. He took his last breath right in front of me, on my watch. I couldn't help him. I couldn't do my job. I felt help, and it was killing me. "Anna," Dorothea said, approaching me. "Hello," I said to her. "Well, you are one of my favorite nurses," she said. "And why is that?" I asked. "Because everyone is going crazy about how you run into the battlefield and save wounded soldiers. You are so courageous, Anna," she said. "I couldn't save Jack," I muttered. "No one would have been able to save him." "You can't save everyone, Anna," she said. "I know. I knew I couldn't save everyone, but I wanted to. I couldn't save my father, and I was so content with it, but maybe that was because I was taking care of him. I was making him feel a little better. Maybe I wasn't hurt because he had lived his life. Jack, he was young. He had barely lived, and I wanted him to be able to go home. And maybe he wouldn't have gone home. Maybe he would have died on the battlefield. But I was beating myself up about it, and I shouldn't, because sometimes bad things just happen, and there's nothing you can do about it.